Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on 10 games in Fanatical's Frightmare bundle of October 2025. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? Ooh, spooky! Right. By using links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you, the viewers, for watching my silly videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have Blood West, a stealth-focused FPS that blends immersive sim elements with a grim, atmospheric world. You play as an undead gunslinger, trapped between life and death, tasked with purging a cursed land across 3 haunting regions. Stealth, puzzle solving, and inventory management form the core of your journey, and while the combat mechanics feel satisfying, the early game forces you into stealth due to tough enemies and limited resources. You'll find the stealth system refreshingly flexible. Maps offer multiple paths and strategies, letting you sneak, fight, or avoid enemies entirely. Choosing stealth often means missing out on valuable loot like artifacts and powerful weapons. But combat comes with its own risks. Melee is dangerous and stamina draining, while ranged attacks expend rare resources. Death is heavily punished, saddling you with soul flaws that weaken you further until you can afford costly removals. The story, while sparse, feels authentic and ties into your interactions with a handful of memorable NPCs. Side quests feel genuinely rewarding, often leading you to hidden gear or vital resources that make survival just a little bit more manageable. Enemy design keeps you on your toes, with different foes requiring different tactics. Birdmen dodging bullets, spirits vulnerable to rare silver rounds. Blood West's biggest flaw lies in its skill system, where upgrades feel more like basic stat boosts than game changers. However, once you adjust to its harsh early hours, you'll discover a deep atmospheric stealth adventure that is hard to put down. Blood West demands patience, and rewards it handsomely. At number 2 we have Maid of Sker, a first-person adventure that promises a gripping narrative and stunning scenery that will immerse you in its macabre atmosphere. The journey begins with a foreboding train ride, as Thomas receives a distressing message from his beloved Elizabeth, drawing him to the hotel. The game excels in capturing the late 1800s ambiance, immersing you in a world teeming with cultish intrigue and unsettling beauty. The attention to detail, reminiscent of Bioshock and Someday You'll Return, sets a captivating stage for its unfolding tale. Exploring the decrepit Sker Hotel reveals a mesmerizing yet chilling environment, with each corner hiding secrets and dangers. As you navigate the grounds infested with the eerie Quiet Ones, stealth becomes your ally, heightening the tension and sense of unease. The gameplay offers a delicate balance between exploration and survival, with puzzles to solve and enemies to evade. While the pacing may feel slow at times, the narrative keeps you hooked, driving you to uncover the truth behind Elizabeth's plight. However, the endings leave some questions unanswered, and could have provided more closure. Despite these flaws, Maid of Sker grips you with its atmosphere and narrative depth, making it a must-play for horror aficionados and explorers alike. With its breathtaking visuals, haunting soundtrack, and intriguing story, Maid of Sker offers a captivating experience that lingers long after the credits roll. While it may not be flawless, its ability to draw you into its world makes it a journey worth taking. Don't miss the chance to explore the dark secrets of Sker Hotel. It's an unforgettable adventure into the heart of fear. At number 3 we have DEATHWATCHERS, a psychological horror game that blends ghost hunting with spot the difference mechanics, creating a tense and unpredictable experience. It throws you into eerie haunted locations where every flicker of light and sound could mean something sinister. You can play solo or with up to 3 others in co-op, gathering clues and using equipment to identify and banish the entity before it kills everyone. At first the mechanics feel complex, but the tutorial does a great job of breaking things down with clear visual examples. Once you understand how it all works, it becomes thrilling to spot small environmental changes that guide you toward the correct ritual. Choose wrong though, and the entity will unleash hell, sending you and your team back empty-handed. With 3 maps and multiple difficulty levels, there's a solid amount of replayability, especially when played with friends. Visually, DEATHWATCHERS nails the horror vibe. Flashing lights, distorted camera effects, and gruesome set pieces crank up the tension. The sound design pushes it further, Heavy rain, distant thunder, and creepy whispers keep you constantly on edge. Unfortunately, the EMF detector is silent, which slightly dulls the immersion, and the lack of full control layout can make early sessions confusing. Despite some bugs and rough edges expected from early access, DEATHWATCHERS offers a refreshing spin on the ghost hunting genre. Its smart puzzles, chilling atmosphere, and solid co-op potential make it a hauntingly fun experience worth keeping an eye on. And number 4 we have Order 13, a first-person psychological horror game from Cybernetic Walrus that throws you into a grim warehouse where your job is to pack orders, avoid a monstrous creature, and keep your cat happy. It sounds simple until you realize the boxes you're filling include severed limbs and decapitated heads. What makes this horror experience unique isn't just the gore or tension, but how much you end up caring about your furry companion. Everything you do, every sprint, every hiding spot is to keep that cat safe. Each day, you're tasked with meeting an order quota. Complete it and you'll earn cash to upgrade your tools or spoil your cat. Fail, and you risk termination, or worse, death. The creature patrolling the warehouse is relentless, forcing you to crouch, hide, and pray your stamina holds. The cat's happiness meter acts as a soft timer, constantly pushing you to balance safety and efficiency. It is a clever twist that raises the stakes beyond survival. The sound design mostly works well, with eerie whispers and unsettling noises heightening the fear, though the monstrous footsteps can be misleading, sometimes ruining your sense of direction. The environments grow increasingly disorienting as you progress, which keeps tension high despite the repetitive task loop. It will take you about 4 hours to finish, and while the shop system could use more depth, Order 13 nails its creepy atmosphere and emotional hook. It is a short, chilling experience that proves you'll do anything, even face nightmarish horrors, for your cat. And number 5 we have Ghostbusters, Spirits Unleashed, Ecto Edition. An asymmetric multiplayer game where 4 Ghostbusters square off against a lone spectral menace. Developed by IllFonic, the team behind Friday the 13th and Evolve, it blends cooperative teamwork with supernatural chaos. At its heart, this is a 4v1 hunt. Ghostbusters use proton packs, PKE meters, and traps to track and capture the ghost before it fully haunts the location. Meanwhile, the ghost, playing in third person, spreads fear, disrupts the environment, and strategically relocates rifts to stay in the game. Each match is a frantic 5 to 10 minute showdown where every decision matters. The depth of customization is impressive. As a Ghostbuster, you can fine-tune your loadout to focus on rift hunting, fast mobility, or sheer trapping efficiency. The Ghost, on the other hand, has 9 classes with unique abilities, whether you prefer sneaky poltergeist antiques, brute force brawling, or pure chaos. There's a Spectre to match your style. What really sets this edition apart is its generosity. Unlike many multiplayer games that nickel and dime you for extra content, the Ecto Edition bundles all DLC, maps, and cosmetics into level-based unlocks. There is some minor jank here and there, but nothing that detracts from the thrill of the hunt. Whether you're a lifelong Ghostbusters fan or just enjoy a good asymmetric multiplayer game, this is one worth playing. With full crossplay and loads of replayability, it is an absolute blast from beyond the grave. And number 6 we have Choo-Choo Charles, an original and enjoyable horror game developed and published by 2-Star Games. The protagonist finds themselves on an island plagued by an evil train named Charles, and their objective is to defeat him and restore peace. To draw Charles out of hiding, the player must locate 3 powerful eggs and use various weapons to destroy him. The game offers a mix of silliness and simplicity, providing a few hours of entertaining escapism. Players can explore the island on foot or use their own locomotive, which can be upgraded, customized, and armed with weapons. While Charles rarely attacks while on foot, encountering him means a frantic attempt to survive, or shoot at him from the safety of the train. Throughout the island, players encounter non-playable characters who provide optional quests, rewarding them with scrap metal to upgrade their train or unlock new weapons. Charles's followers, who are relentless in their pursuit, populate the mines where the eggs are located. Engaging them without the train can be frustrating, so leading them back to the train is essential for eliminating them. The game's final quests involve strategic planning, such as setting up explosives on a bridge to maximize damage in the climactic battle against Charles. While the game can be completed relatively quickly, engaging in optional side missions and collecting additional scrap metal strengthens the train and weapons, ensuring better chances of success. Choo-Choo Charles is a light-hearted horror experience that doesn't take itself too seriously. Despite some visual limitations and repetitive nighttime settings, the game's appeal lies in the fun of operating the train and utilizing acquired resources to defeat Charles. Its short length and streaming-friendly nature make it a must-play for fans of quirky, scary, and cult-style games like Deadly Premonition. At number 7 we have Withering Rooms, a 2.5D horror action game blending elements from classics like Silent Hill and Dark Souls, offering a punishing yet rewarding retro experience. You play as Nightingale, a young girl trapped in a dream version of Moston Asylum, where the nightmare-filled halls are crawling with undead and sinister characters. As you navigate the ever-changing Victorian mansion, you'll uncover secrets, solve puzzles, and face off against grotesque monsters. The game emphasizes strategic combat, requiring patience as you balance Nightingale's abilities and gear against a relentless array of enemies. There's a rich variety of gear to discover, allowing you to customize your build with rings, armors, and weapons, each impacting your playstyle. Exploring the twisted world is both challenging and thrilling, as hidden items and notes enrich the lore without overwhelming you with excessive backstory. Withering Rooms also features a unique curse mechanic. As you battle, your curse meter fills, transforming the environment into a hellscape and unlocking hidden secrets. This tension adds another layer to the game's challenging atmosphere. Thankfully, you'll find checkpoints and a home base called Nowhere that lets you regroup and plan your next move. If you're into Souls-like games, the combat and exploration will feel familiar yet fresh. Boss fights are intense, but the game's thoughtful checkpoint system prevents them from becoming overly punishing. With a new Game Plus mode and tons of customization options, Withering Rooms delivers a hauntingly immersive experience to test your skills and nerves. At number 8 we have Painted in Blood, a first-person psychological horror shooter that drags you into the tortured mind of an artist gone mad. Blending classic 90s boomer shooter energy with modern design, it is a haunting mix of fast-paced combat, atmospheric storytelling, and surreal horror that feels like Doom Eternal collided with Forgive Me, Father. You're thrown into a world painted in darkness and decay, battling grotesque creatures while piecing together a twisted creative vision drenched in blood and beauty. Each level feels like walking through a fever dream. The pixel art visuals are stunning, mixing retro charm with high-fidelity lighting and texture work that gives every corridor a painterly unease. The environments are packed with secrets and visual storytelling that reward exploration, while the sanity system dynamically warps your surroundings depending on your actions. The result is unpredictable horror, sometimes psychological, sometimes visceral, always unnerving. Combat hits hard, with a solid mix of melee and ranged weapons that demand quick thinking as different enemy types swarm you. The pacing is slower than typical boomer shooters, encouraging careful movement and appreciation for the world's grim artistry. While the game currently suffers from some performance issues and lacks a few quality of life options, like advanced video settings or ultra-wide support, its early access foundation is incredibly strong. With its eerie atmosphere, poetic narrative tone, and unrelenting combat, Painted in Blood stands out as both a tribute and reinvention of classic horror shooters. It is bloody, beautiful, and brimming with potential. At number 9 we have Tormented Triple Pack, a dark and twisted trio of psychological and survival horror experiences that challenge how much fear, faith, and madness you can endure. Bundling tormented souls, in sound mind, and reverend, this collection captures 3 distinct shades of terror, from classic survival horror to surreal psychological descent and blood-soaked retro shooter chaos. In Tormented Souls, you step into the heels of Caroline Walker, exploring a decaying mansion filled with grotesque puzzles and spine-chilling atmosphere reminiscent of Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Fixed camera angles, limited resources, and intricate item-based puzzles create a perfect throwback for fans who miss true survival horror tension. Every sound, shadow, and creak keeps you on edge as you uncover the mysteries buried within its walls. Then comes In Sound Mind, a more cerebral experience where you unravel the psyches of trauma victims through twisted dreamscapes. You'll solve puzzles, face manifestations of fear, and engage in clever environmental storytelling. The game's balance of horror and empathy gives you an emotional connection rarely seen in the genre. Finally, Reverend turns the dread up to 11, with a furious retro FPS inspired by Blood and Duke Nukem 3D. you play as a disgraced preacher, blasting through demonic hordes in crimson-soaked cathedrals and flesh tunnels. It is fast, loud, and unapologetically brutal. A perfect adrenaline kick after the psychological slow burn of the first two titles. Together, these games form a well-rounded nightmarish journey through body, mind, and faith. At number 10 we have Squirrel, Stapler, and Iron Lung Double Pack, a grotesque and atmospheric pairing that dives deep into two very different shades of horror, one absurdly grotesque, the other suffocatingly claustrophobic. Both come from the same twisted creative mind, and together they make an unforgettable descent into madness. In Squirrel Stapler, you play as a deranged hunter living alone in the wilderness, trying to restore your skinless wife by stapling squirrel hides onto her corpse. What sounds ridiculous quickly becomes disturbing. You'll stalk through misty forests, rifle in hand, tracking squirrels with a sound and visibility meter while eerie whispers echo through the trees. Each day ends with you repairing your wife as the world grows stranger, until the forest itself feels alive and hostile. It is grotesque, funny, and horrifying all at once, the perfect kind of indie weirdness that sticks in your head long after it's over. Then comes Iron Lung, an hour-long masterclass in dread. Trapped inside a tiny submarine navigating a blood-red ocean, you cannot see the outside world, only grainy, delayed photos from your camera feed. You rely on sound, instruments, and pure nerve to survive. Every creak, hiss, and thud of the hull feels like a death sentence waiting to happen. Both games rely on minimalism and psychological tension rather than jump scares. Squirrel Stapler attacks your sanity, Iron Lung crushes your soul. Together, they form a short but unforgettable horror experience that's equal parts disgusting and brilliant. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle is pure chaos, a mix of jank, gems, and fever dreams. You've got Withering Rooms and Iron Lung holding it down with solid horror cred, Blood West slapping hard for retro shooter fans, and then Choo-Choo Charles, the cursed meme that refuses to die. Some games feel unfinished, others are absolute bangers, but that's the beauty of it. It's a wild ride for those who live for the weird side of Steam. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.